Hello, my name is METİN ARIDAŞIR. This is 26th part of explanation of my theory. CMB, cosmic background radiation, is the proof of my theory. CMB is the proof of ARIDAŞIR'S theory and ARIDAŞIR'S formulas. Remember this graph here. I have drawn according to my theory and my formulas. And I have drawn this graph according to my theory and my formulas. Remember from my former video, I have thought of an inner surface detector, inner surface spherical detector, remember? And middle of that, an relocating electron motion form in the direction of 0 degree, here 90 degree, here 180 degree, etc. Remember. And I have drawn, according to my formulas, I have drawn this graph. This graph for all of 90 degrees from 90 to 0, each one, okay? Please watch my former video about that. This is my graph. I will tell you its scale. Remember that electron motion forms wavelength, initial wavelength was lambda n equal to 0.3 nanometer. And remember this detector sphere, which I imagine and put forth as a proposal of experiment, 0.9 nanometer. Its radius, okay? Remember. And again, remember 1, 2, and 3. Lambda n, lambda n, lambda n. In the direction of 90 degree, only 3 wave numbers. N was 3. So small scale. In so small scale, I have drawn this graph, and this is real shape. Remember, this was roughly, if we connect all the hills, roughly black body radiation. Not roughly black body radiation. Roughly graph. It's original, real graph. This is roughly appearance. Okay. Cosmic microwave background radiation is the proof of ARIDAŞIR'S theory and ARIDAŞIR'S formulas. CMB is not a remnant of the Big Bang because of I think CMB is not a remnant light. There cannot be remnant radiation, relic light. Means successive waves, free electron motions, successive waves. Think about that. There cannot be remnant radiation of successive free electron motion forms successive waves. There cannot be remnant radiation which are going on to be propagated and existed without their sources. Successive waves cannot go on propagating and increasing themselves without electron motion form source. If there is no electron motion source, faint, darkness, finish, lose, no successive waves, no wave numbers, no observation. CMBR is the product of relocating free electron motion forms. CMBR is the product of relocating free electron motion forms. CMB is a continuous spectrum that belongs to relocation free electron motion forms. There are two graphs. Here, I compute according to my theory and my formula for lambda n equal to 0.3 nanometer, so small scale, and this electron motion form was relocating in the sphere. Which sphere? That sphere has only 0.9 nanometer radius, remember. But here, all apparent universe observing, and there is continuous spectrum and its wavelength approximately micrometer scales. Not approximately, absolutely, micrometer scales. Because of that scale, this graph occurred. This graph has occurred. Here, energy in EV and wavelength and projected angle from 90 degree to 0 degree. Here again 90 degree through 0 degree. Okay, from 90 degree to 0 degree. Temperature fluctuations. this represents not same measuring, but represents energy. Characteristics are same, similar. Then here wavelength representatives from 0 to plus and wave number from 0 to plus same. Okay, this graph is observed measured graph, CMB graph, cosmic microwave background radiation graph. This is my theoretical graph. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. This is ARIDAŞIR'S. This is my theoretical computing graph according to my theory and my formulas. Please wait a moment. I'm so sorry. Here we are. This is my theoretical computing graph. This is observed measured graph of CMB, cosmic microwave background radiation graph. Yes, this is the proof of my theory. One of the proofs of my theory and my formulas. Now, CMB is a continuous spectrum that belongs to relocation free electron motion forms. If the wavelength is large or the measuring distance close, we have theoretical measuring distance only, remember, 0.9 nanometer radius sphere electron. Okay, free electron motion forms, relocating free electron motion forms. Waves will strike inner surface. All of these spheres radius was 0.9 nanometer, remember. So small distance and so small wavelength and so small distance, it's important. If the wavelength is large or the measuring distance close, plotting will be more sensitive. If you increase the distance, this means you will measure increased number of waves, but n alpha divided by n 90 degree will be stable, then scale sensitivity will drop as it seems as a curve. Okay. As a curve, I'm so sorry. Wavelength level of micrometer makes the measurement and plotting more sensitive and more perceivable for CMB plotting. Because of CMB about micrometer level of wavelength observation. Yes. Now, some examinations according to my theory and my formulas. Here I imagine outer surface detector sphere, okay? It is same orbiting detector around the sun, or we are orbiting around the sun, and we make continuous spectrum, remember, wavelength varying. From the east, the sun seems to be as red. From the west, again red, but in lunchtime, yellow. Directly from 0 degree, come in, the light come through us. I don't want to confuse you. Okay. This is orbiting direct detector. Here, this is the sun, this is our detector. Say, here, distance 1, here distance 2, between distance 1, angle greater than between distance 2. And these are relationships which I put forth. While going around the sun elliptical, distance will be different than wavelength will be different, which from the light to Earth, this angles change. Lambda minus delta lambda will change, of course, like this. Wait a moment. Like this. Here. At this point, different wavelength. At this point, different wavelength. By the way, I must tell you again that it was inner surface detector sphere, remember? And each point of this sphere, think of sphere, each point of this sphere will have different N alpha, different wave number, different energy, touching energy, different wave velocity, and different successive wavelength variable. But frequency, in spite of wave number varying, wave number varying, in spite of this, frequency, electron motion forms frequency, relocating or at rest. It's not important. Free electron motion forms frequency will be same, constant, remember. Okay, but each point of this sphere, detector sphere, will be different. Will have different energy, touching energy, will have different wave number, will have different wave velocity, will have different wavelength. Wave velocity, remember, d equal to c minus electron motion forms velocity cosine alpha. Wavelength alpha equal to lambda n minus delta lambda cosine alpha. Remember, energy, my energy formula you remember, my wave number formula you remember. Okay. Now again, here, if distance change, of course will change because of elliptical, wavelengths will be different because of distance differences, angle differences, wave numbers, or yes, same spherical, inner spherical position, same. Okay. This is relationship. Now, inner surface detector sphere. Here, my electron motion form computing, remember, computing graph, okay? According to this. Again, inner surface detector sphere, same function, but now detector or us orbiting, like this. Here, sphere, outer surface detector sphere, or orbiting, same, okay? Now, inner surface detector sphere, and same function, like inner, orbiting, okay? From observable universe, orbiting detector, when it orbits, we can measure variable wavelengths and anisotropy reality occurs, then we can do real graph like this. Now, yes, for orbiting detector, there will be angular varying of wavelength, and its velocity and position will affect the light wave respect to this. When detector sphere move away, an angle narrows and wavelength shrinks. While orbiting angles are changing, the continuous spectrum occurs. When orbiting, in any case, there will be angular varying for successive waves of relocating electron motion forms, and continuous spectrum will occur. All kind of black body radiations, graphs of stars including CMBR, cosmic microwave background radiation, or black body radiation. All still visible continuous spectrum sources may still exist. I think they exist. They are probably existing transferring bands, and the source of images or lines which they transferred may be lost or may not exist now. But if there are still continuous spectrum like CMB, like from the sun black body radiation graph, still, because of according to my theory, they are continuous spectrums, and continuous spectrum source are free electron motion forms, and successive waves of free electron motion forms need existing free electron motion form because of going on propagating, increasing, still coming here or going there. All still visible continuous spectrum sources may still exist, and CMB is not relic. I believe, I guess. I tried to prove CMB, cosmic microwave background radiation, blackbody radiation, is still exists. Its source is still exist. Its sources are still exist. All still visible continuous spectrum sources may still exist. They are probably existing transferring bands. Their continuous spectrums are transferring bands. Remember spikes, line spectrum, lines, emission lines, absorption lines on continuous spectrums. Okay. Now they are exist, then they are not exist, but continuous spectrum. There are continuous spectrum. If there is continuous spectrum. If there is continuous spectrum, still like somewhere there are electron motion forms which are produced and propagate successive waves. Still they are doing this. All still visible continuous spectrum sources may still exist. They are probably existing transferring bands, and the source of images or lines which they transferred may be lost or may not exist, but if there are still continuous spectrum and successive waves, their source must be exist still there at somewhere. I think CMB is a kind of a lie. Still it is existing. Its source is existing. Its sources are existing. All rainbow sources are relocating free electron motion forms. So all rainbow sources are relocating free electron motion forms. So all rainbows represent the freedom of free electron motion forms, and still there is freedom in our universe. Yes. Have a good evening. See you later.